Capable people, you have been calling this a slow season, and quietly you have been judging yourself for it. And what I mean by this is because in your mind, things are not moving. If the energy isn't there, if the results aren't showing up, then something must be wrong, right? So you push yourself harder, you question yourself, and you start thinking, oh, maybe I've lost it. Maybe this thing I'm trying to do is not how it's supposed to be. Maybe something, you know, but what if nothing is wrong? What if you're just in an off track? It's just the season. Like it's not a case of you're off the track. You just this is a season that isn't designed for your outputs right now. Because not every season is for producing. There are some seasons that you just need to calibrate for integration, for becoming the person who actually sustain the next level. So if you don't understand the season you're in right now, you will start working against yourself. So let's talk about it in this today's video. Because if you don't slow down, you panic. As highly capable people, we have high standard. And when things are not showing up as we want, we interpret it as failure. And then you turn a natural season into a personal problem, as if there is some huge thing. When it's not theory, just truth, that there are times you are visible, active, producing, and there'll be times when you feel quieter, unclear, slower, and both are true and both are okay. You don't bloom all year, neither does does life happen. We're currently in a spring season, the flowers are coming out. They were all empty, dry, sustained, and now they're blossoming. So when you look at the seasons of the year, especially where I'm at, and you bring your own experience to it, but there'll be times where your views might be low. There'll be times where your energy might dip. And there'll be times when you're questioning your direction. And I have thought something was wrong. I mean, I felt that same way too. That I just didn't understand that it was just the season I was in. That this is how it is. You know, when you misread the season, when you start focusing on the outputs, the system isn't ready to sustain it. And then what happens? You burn out. You start having inconsistency. You start getting frustrated with whatever is showing up for you, whatever is happening. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, okay, what's the deal? What about each season has its own job? And our job is to figure out what season lies for us. Is there a season for us to slow and integrate? Is there a season for us to be quiet and have that clarity for us? Or is there a season for us to rest and really take that time for self? Because not every season is for showing up. Not every season is, and there's some that's just for strength. So how you show up on, like, yes, you have to keep putting yourself out there. It doesn't mean it's going to be at the same level as you've always been all year round. So instead, just don't you disappear. Reduce the pressure we have on self. Stay in motion. Do those small actions in a periods where like we're just calibrating. It doesn't mean you stop. You just change how you show up. You change how things are happening for you, right? Because the season you're trying to push out might be the one that just needs you to be prepared, the one that prepares you. So this is where we really need to take that time to figure out, like, okay, what season am I in? How do I want to show up? And what's the things that I want to do to help me make sure that I am right in that thing? Even for work, even if you're like a business owner, you have your own business, there are times where it's quiet, when people like it's time people go away and have breaks, and then in other places where people tend to have those holiday spots are, that's the season they're like thriving and it's busy like for them. And then over here, it's like, okay, things are slow, schools maybe like are closed, things are happening. It's having an understanding that whatever it is that we're doing, and we're saying, oh my goodness, I'm not making as much money, I'm not doing as much productivity. I think, okay, I just need to do some, go a bit harder, stuff like that. Maybe it's time to just say, you know what, this period is like, it's slow. Let me put an inventory. Let me really figure out like what is my output, what are the things that I want to produce, and what do I want to create so that when I'm back up in a season that I thrive in, I am all in, I am there, ready to go. Then thinking that we have to push ourselves every time and be at the optimal all the no, babe, no. That's where the we get to that burnout stage and we get to that thing like, oh my goodness, what's going on? We can't just keep putting that way. At the same time, it doesn't mean we put a halt to it and put brakes to everything we're doing, especially when you're a solopreneur and like everything's on you and stuff like that. But having that understanding, like what are the things we could put in place in those seasons where might be slow for us and what can we focus on? What are the things that we get to do so that in those times we're covered? You know, is it putting money aside so that when the slow season you still have stuff going? Or is it okay now? This is like where I get to learn, go and do some more research, go and create, figure out more things that I get to do. When my thriving season, like, it's a season to like really go, I'm ready. I have things in place, everything sorted out so that when the time comes, I am in, I'm sorted. And knowing that everything, whatever it is that we're going through, this too shall pass. Is having that understanding. Then when you look at like, okay, we have the winter, we have the spring, the autumn, the summer, looking at that, the same can be true for our lives and how we show up and how we do things. And knowing that it is okay to have those low periods, to have those quiet times where you're like, oh, okay, I'll just be putting this output out there while I just rest up and focus on myself. Okay, this is now when I need to thrive. This is go time. This is where the momentum is happening. Okay, I just need to learn a bit more, get myself better at what I'm doing, and get the understanding. Take the time to really reflect and think, okay, how in my career, in my business, in my life, how how does things show up? How does it work? And then plug things in to know that, okay, it's a bit slow here, it's a bit hectic, there's a lot of celebration, a lot of things happening. Okay, this is where I need to make sure I have everything in place. So we have to kind of like be mindful of that and understand that our winter might be somebody else's summer, and our summer can be someone else's autumn. And having that understanding and not thinking that, okay, I have to be like them or I have, no. Focus on your lane. Know thyself. Figure out what works for you, how things will roll out for you, and just see them for like, oh, for progress. And then you for like, okay, how are things going for? I mean, see them for possibility and for yourself for progress. Oh, okay. All right. How does it apply to you? It's not about looking at them. Is it being on online here or whatever? Oh, there'll be seasons where like we're not whatever we're putting out there is not what's the word, there might be low views or there might be not clarity or people are not whatever that is, and there'll be season where oh my goodness people are landing and like it's going, having that understanding that I'll just do what I have to do and keep producing, but I as a person is not tied into whatever flow that works. I would just go with the waves, the dance. What am I doing now? But the important thing is knowing what that season means for us, how we get to show up in that season, and how we're going to move forward from that, than just passively going and then thinking, oh, I just need to do more and more and more because nothing's happening and nothing. Like, look back and then figure out, like, work things out. Because in that way, it would help you in how you show up, in how you do things. Like for my work right now, coaching is one thing, and then I'm interpreting another thing. It's a school's out, and a lot of people go away in this season, and so the work is on the down low. Doesn't mean the work's not there, but it's not as in the peak season. Like September for me is like peak season, like dun 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 dun. Everything's like having that understanding, like, okay, when is this? When is that? When should I launch? When should I do this? When should this happen? That happen? Okay, what kind of opportunities? Okay, now that it's quiet, now let me do some more work and get some level up myself. Let me do this. Then we know we're in motion. We're going and riding ourselves, than making it beat ourselves up. Oh, things are not happening. This, da da da, and then oh, but they're having this. It could be their summer, and you're in winter season for yourself. See it that way. See it that way, and don't let that stop you in your traction, in your going. Figure it out for yourself and just keep showing up, keep doing you, understanding that this is a long game. If you're looking at a life as a whole, we have to, like, we're 6 feet under, right? Well, how are we going to keep showing up? Remember that at the end of it, we will end up down there looking like the decisions we've made. When we're born, we look like our parents, right? But at the end, we look like our decisions. So let's be mindful with the seasons we're in, so that the decisions we are at the end are the ones we chose for self, not the one that was imposed on us. But because of the fear or whatever, we just let that be. Let's be mindful and let's take the time to really calibrate and figure out, what season am I? In the comment section, let me know, what season are you at this point in time of you watching this video? I am Nene. Remember, we do this every single day. Your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Bye for now.